Okay, our beloveds, our another is basking in what it feels like to be a mother today. Not only because it is Mother's Day, but because she is recognizing what the gifts from her children look like for Mother's Day to honor her. It is not the gifts and the baubles that they purchase, which are greatly appreciated, as this is the third year that she has received such gifts from her children, but it goes to the deeper, heartfelt emotions which she shares with her children. Her son showed up for her in a meaningful way yesterday as he dedicated the entire day to helping his mom prepare for a project that she has been working on and is unable to complete on her own. And her daughter, too, in her teenage ways, is showing up as much as she can while finding balance within her own life as she learns how to spread her own wings. Life is taking on a new and unique form where our another now allows her emotions to go up and down, back and forth, as nothing is static. There are moments of frustration because you feel unheard, and then there are moments of great appreciation where you see your children step out of their normal pattern to show up for you because of an expression of love that they wish to express, not because it is expected or demanded of them, but because it is something which they choose to freely give. Our another is growing into her original footprint, if you will, because she is now unpartnered and has the freedom to express herself and her choices in the ways that work for her. And in doing so, her parenting style is relaxing into that space where she sees her children where they're at age-wise and offers them greater opportunities to grow into themselves while still hoping that they will show up for her, our another, in those ways that show appreciation of the familial bond that they have, to allow the children to grow into their best version of themselves as they so choose, while still guiding them and expecting them to show up in those day-to-day ways that are important for self-development, self-criticism, self-accountability, and self-love, ultimately, where they get to make certain choices, and when they don't work out, to hold them accountable for the consequences, but in a loving way, saying, okay, so now how do we build on this so that this learning opportunity is not lost? And allowing her children a leash which is very elastic to keep them within the appropriate zone, to continue to teach them the life skills that they need, while giving them a lot more room to walk away from the expectations that were set upon them and finding possible different ways within which they can best express themselves. And it takes a lot of trust to know that you have imprinted your children with the right values, meaning love, integrity, modesty, humility, expectations of the world, meeting them where they are at, finding their greatest joys in their own points of inspirations and not those of others, figuring out what their strengths and abilities are, finding where their opportunities lie and where they don't, trusting that the universe will care for them somehow while not overdoing it, meaning that they are cautiously stepping out into this new world without having the need right now to jump off of the cliff to see if their butterfly wings are ready to carry them. They are being given the opportunity to grow into this phase while young, so that they need not go through the growth phase that our another is going through in her 50s, because the environment did not allow for her to go through this self-growth phase in her earlier years. And so her hope is that her children will slowly unfurl their butterfly wings as they figure out where they wish to go, what they wish their future to look like, how they wish to get there, with whom they wish to get there, and allowing them to choose their own lifestyle. One is very introverted and a hermit, and the other is incredibly extroverted and expressive, and trusting that each of these children and their choices are okay for them, versus pushing one out of the nest and pulling the other one back in, trusting that they each know what is best for them, while Mama oversees it with her bird wing, creating still that shelter for their children, protecting them from the elements, but not squishing them under her wing or under her bottom. It is an unusual journey for our another, because her life has changed so much within these last number of years, and her trust in the universe and all that it has to offer is being challenged some days and being rewarded some days. But overall, she knows that this is the path that she came to live and the path that she came to share with others, to express what this unyielding, unbounded, self-creative, self-created manner of constructing a life can and will look like if you just do little things every day to move it forward, trusting that all is as it should be, even in the harder moments, trusting that the harder moments are there to teach you about things that you need to learn, trusting that they will unfold into something better for you and those around you. It is really, truly an unusual journey in this world where everybody is trying so hard to control everything and everyone around them, because you all have been raised in such a fear-based society, and you have been told that your mind can control the outcome by using logic, rational thought, proper planning. And it's not that they don't have their place, but it needs to start from a place of surrender and trust, where you relax into a trusting vibration, and then and only then do you go into the logical piece of how your intuition guides you to that place. And every now and then you literally just throw caution to the wind and just let things go unplanned, and find the greatest joy in jumping off the cliff, hollering to Wanda as you figure out how these wings that you've just grown will take you to the other side, rather than allowing you to plummet and splat at the bottom of the cliff. It is your collective journey to learn these lessons. An hour another, as we have expressed many times, is the microcosm of the macrocosm. And she is here to show you all that it can be done, so that each of you, when you are ready to take your own toe and dip it into the river of life to see if maybe you are ready, that you will have seen and heard about this woman who did it herself with no validation, no predictable promise, no evidence, no validation again, that it is true, and she just does it because in her gut, in her inner being, in her heart, in her DNA, she knows that this is truth. The truth with which she was born, with which she has lived much of her life, until the fear that she had been living in became overwhelming. The liver cleanse brought her the contrast of the fear of what the unknown looks like, where you have to stop using logic and rational thought tied together with the law of attraction, and to find a different way of surrendering that is not based on that underlying fear vibration of needing to have a good job, money in the bank, prosperity, all those things, and truly living like a bird, where you say, I know that the divine will offer me the shelter, the food, the protection, and the community that I need in order to move forward. And some do die, there's no doubt about that. But our another can feel that she has a longer future ahead of her, and she wishes to now branch out into this trusting vibration of surrender, and to validate it ultimately by showing you all, the collective, that her trust was not unfounded. It just was unproven and unvalidated. But the sense of knowing that she has within her is what propels her forward every day. And you all will, in your own time and place, find that this is truth for you as well. And when and if you do in this lifetime, you will remember her words that we channel through her and say, we think we now understand and are ready to move forward on our own surrender experiment and figure it out. It is not meant to go perfectly. It is not meant to be easy. It is meant to trust and challenge your faith at every turn, so that you build a resiliency, a strength, a Kevlar strength, where it is reasonably light and fluid and flexible to a certain extent, yet has the strength of 1,000,000 men, which cannot be broken. You will find this when it is your time. And when it is your time, you will know, because you will naturally move into that space. And until then, you just sit on the riverbanks, watching others, knowing that it is not your time. And it is okay. If it is not your time, then to jump would be foolish, because the energetic imprint within which you hold inside is not able to hold those butterfly wings out yet, and you will fall and splat. And that's not the point. The point is for you to do it only when you are ready. So we shall continue to share through our another, because maybe a year or a decade from now, it will be your time to trust in this surrender experiment. And at that time, we will still be there, waiting for you lovingly, letting you know that all is exactly as it should be. The mother's energy today is bringing in the divine feminine to let you know that to be that loving mom that allows your children the opportunity to grow while still protecting them and holding them accountable for their failures to mankind as appropriate will hold true. You will find as this divine feminine comes in, within the male and the female, that your ability to trust more in the unconditional love of this world, while creating healthy boundaries and holding others accountable for the pain that they have caused you. You will see what this looks and feels like, and why so many resist it, because they see it as something that it is not. And it is simply fear-based. You don't really know what it is, and so you judge it prematurely. And when you finally feel it, you will realize how amazingly loving this energy actually is, and what it is here to offer humanity. Blessings to you all who have heard or who have read these words. They share much wisdom beyond the words that they express. It is all shared deeply within the vibration of this message, which is that of love, unconditional love, and trust that you will get where you need to go when you need to get there. And so it is. Namaste.